Hi, this is Chuck, and this is Retirement Ain't Easy. And in today's video, I'm going to do 3 things. I'm going to go over a list of 10 items on what does retirement mean to me. I'm going to give you a tour of this room behind me, which is what we call the comic book room. And I'm going to show you one of the projects I've been working on with my CD collection. And I'll share some videos of that I'm working on. And I started that this past weekend. So let's get started. So let's start with a quick tour of comic book room before I get to the other 2 items. So here's some video. I have a pretty extensive comic book collection. Let me go ahead and show this. All these boxes are full of comic books. I started collecting in I think 1982 when I was off in college. Took a break sometime in the 90s, I believe. I took a 3 to 4 year hiatus from comics. And then I also have trade paperbacks as well that I collect. This is my KISS shelf with all my KISS books, KISS magazines, KISS related magazines. Below that is a shelf of tar tab books, some drawing stuff, collection of Guitar World magazines, which you can't really see underneath there. You can see I also have a bunch of toys that I have collected over the years. And then back in the 1990s when they started reissuing the G.I. Joes, I went and bought all the G.I. Joes that were out at that time. I could open a toy store, which is one of those side hustles I'm thinking about doing here sometime soon. But this is my comic book room. Thought I'd go ahead and throw this out there for now. But this room is my comic book room where I come in and I sit. This is actually where I used to work when I could work remotely for my job. So I set it up so I could have a couple monitors there and do stuff at home. Now that I'm retired, it's just my place to come up here and escape and watch YouTube. This is where I edit my YouTube videos and read my comic books. I have a stack of comics right there that need to be taken away. I get comics once a month. I order them online and they get shipped to me once a month, and I have a stack and I read, and then once I read them I then gotta go take them and put them in there. So that's on the agenda today, to do that. So this is my comic book room. I'm going to do the same with my music room here pretty soon. I also have a bunch of drawing stuff. I've never got really good at drawing, but I do have a drawing table there, and I actually have an XP pen drawing pad that I probably need to sell. I never got around to using it fully. That's it for this video, I think. Nice little walkthrough of this. It's a really cluttered room right now, and I'm looking to clean it all up. Forgot one thing I wanted to add. Public service announcement. Free Comic Book Day is coming on May 4th. First Saturday in May. Take your grandkids, take your kids, take yourself to the comic book store and pick up whatever's available for Free Comic Book Day. There's usually different publishers release different issues and they're free. So I thought I'd pass that along. I've gone a couple of times over the years. My grandson has picked up stacks of comics as well. It's a great way to get kids interested in reading, at least reading a comic book. A lot of people go see the movies these days, and a lot of the movies are based on the comic books. Thought I'd give that announcement out. Now, what I'd like to talk about now is, what does retirement mean to me? I got thinking about this, and I thought, well, let me list the 10 things. Now, I've already addressed the why I retired, and that's in a previous video. There's a list of a number of items, so there may be some overlap here with this list of 10 items, but I thought I'd review what retirement means to me and perhaps remind myself why I gave up a substantial 6-figure job to be retired. Is the grass really greener on the other side of the retirement fence? So here are my 10 items of what retirement means to me. Number 1, it means not taking orders from people who didn't care to listen to my recommendations in the first place. I know this is going to be harsh, but have you ever dealt with stupid people at work? These are people who like to do things the hard way or take advantage of you because they don't know how to do their jobs, and you've done it before, their job. So you do things for them with no reward. I would do many things for some people that they should have been doing themselves, but it is what it is. I don't have to take orders from those kind of people. The only person I take orders from now starts with a W and ends with IFE. What retirement means to me. Number 2, it means no longer driving in traffic, creeping along at 5 miles per hour on a tollway where I'm paying $2 to $3 to supposedly save time getting to work. The driving, done with it. My truck pretty much sits in the garage just about every day. I mean, I fill it up once, and that once fill up lasts, I think, a month. Number 3, it means waking up when I wake up. and showering when I shower. There's no schedule that is stressing me out. There's nothing to adhere to. My time's my own, unless, of course, the boss comes and says, we got to go do this, or we need to do this, or I need you up for this. That's a little different. Number 4, it means finding things to keep busy, whether it's reading. I like to read. I like to read comic books. I like to read books. Right now, I just finished a Peter Frampton's autobiography book, and I am fixing to start Geddy Lee's autobiography book, if you're familiar with those two musicians. So I like to read those kind of books. I also like to read some military books, Vietnam related, for instance. I'm reading one of those on my Kindle. So I like to read, or I do some writing. I got my blog I write on, but I'm molding some other things around, or recording music, or just playing the guitar, or learning something. These are the things that either I would not have time to do when I worked, because you're working 8:30 to 6 or so. You get home, you're tired, you eat, all you want to do is flop on the couch and watch some TV. Weekend comes, well, now you got to mow the grass or do this or such and things. Well, don't have to do that anymore. I'd either not have time, or I would be mentally exhausted to enjoy working on a song or writing or pursuing. So now I can pursue all my hobbies. 5, it means that every day is a Saturday, and we can take off and visit my mom in Mississippi if we want to. We could go down to San Antonio, the Riverwalk, spend the weekend, whatever. It means every day is a Saturday. Number 6, it means I am no longer able to give my grown adult children extra money just for fun. They now have to be in dire straits to get any money out of me. In the past, I would be like, oh, I've got a little extra money here, dudes. Go do this, or I'll pay for rounds of golf, things like that. Sorry, kids. Can't do that anymore. We're on a budget. Number 7, it means doing our own lawn work. Actually doing anything that we used to farm out. Lawn work being the most predominant one. The wife likes to mow. I edge and weed eat, and then I use the blower to clean it all up. This saves us $50 in lawn and gardening a week. It's also a way for us to get exercise. In fact, we are planning to mow tomorrow because we're expecting rain, I think, on Thursday or Friday, and we've just had a ton of rain here in Dallas. It's been like 8 days since we mowed last time, and the grass is just growing like crazy because of all the rain. We like to mow. We canceled our pest control company. They keep bugging us to come back, but I just couldn't see paying. Every time this guy showed up, it was $100 for him to walk around my house and spray. So now I go to Home Depot and buy probably a $40 bottle of pesticides, something like that, do it myself, and that bottle lasts me a couple of applications. All good. Save some money there. Number 8, it means scheduling time for my hobbies. I mentioned before, it means I got to find things to keep me busy. Well, I have so many hobbies and desires to do. It's actually hard to decide to pursue just one thing on any given day. So I'm slowly getting into a routine where certain days I work on music, certain days like Mondays I'll work on recording videos and editing videos, writing on my blog on Mondays. And then there are days for learning new things. I still want to get it back on the piano and get to where I can play a song fairly easily instead of just little stabs. Or the harmonica, I started working on that, and I haven't gotten back to that lately. I just need to schedule my time as if I'm at work, basically. I try to schedule TV time, try to catch up on our TV shows on Thursdays, and then we may watch a movie. Like last night we watched a movie that we hadn't seen, and we didn't realize it was out on one of the streaming services. I got to schedule my time, and I'm slowly getting into that routine where I'm up here, got my breakfast, got to do this, get my coffee, do this, and then lunch, and then that's time now to do these things. Number 9, it means weighing needs versus wants. I have to weigh the cost and determine if this record album I want is a need or is it a want. Obviously it's a want. I want it, but I need to buy a new hedge trimmer, for instance. That's something I need so I can keep doing my lawn work and making my yard look nice. I'm having to do that. You get the picture. I was looking through my Amazon orders for the past 2-3 years, actually, and I was like, holy cow. 80% of the stuff that I had bought on Amazon, I didn't really need. It was just a want. I wanted a new lens for my camera. I wanted a new flash. I wanted this. I wanted that record album. I want to read this book. And at the time, with the salary I had, I could basically buy whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and not worry about it. now got to do some budgeting now. That was an eye-opener. Comic books. Do I need comic books? That's one of the big questions. I have an extensive collection behind me that you'll see in the comic book tour. I buy comic books once a month. I order online service and they deliver. I used to get this much in comic books. Now I get about this much. And I read them and then I put them away. But I've cut my comic book expenses in half, and that is going to keep going down. And I do believe that by the end of 2024, I will not be buying hardly any comic books online anymore. If I want something, I'll run down to the comic book store. But my needs, my wants for those outweigh the needs of the money I'm spending on that. And then finally, number 10 means I'm available for the family at a moment's notice. An example of that is a month ago, my grandson needed to go to the dentist. And my son and his ex-wife, they couldn't get away from work. They were too busy, couldn't get away from work. And my wife was visiting my mom. So they called me, and I'm like, sure, I'll go. And of course, this being my first time, I had to find out, how do I get them out of school? Because school is really strict about people coming to get them. You got to be on the list, and et cetera, et cetera. And then where's the dentist and all that? I thought, no problem, I'll go get him. I went to the school, picked him up. He was surprised but happy to see me. And then we drove to his dentist office. And then along the way, I found out he was getting a tooth pulled. Well, no one told me he was going to get a tooth pulled. I thought he was just going to go get a cleaning and everything was going to be great. So I'm thinking the worst. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to have a crying kid on my hands. So we went in. The office called the mom and make sure I'm okay to be in there with him, and etc. So I went into the room while they were doing this tooth extraction, and I couldn't really watch. I don't like the dentist. And when that dentist pulled out this needle to numb his mouth, I was like, ooh. I started playing with my phone. And then I looked up and there's the pliers or whatever, and I'm like, oh, playing with my phone. But he was a real trooper. Didn't cry, didn't really yell, anything. He took it, got it pulled. It was a baby tooth that had a cavity. He was actually okay with that. He's like, we either fill the cavity and the baby tooth falls out eventually, or we just go ahead and take it out and your permanent tooth would come in. So he actually said, let's just pull it. So he was a trooper, had it pulled, got some gauze, had his face numb. I brought him home to the house. We hung out, played some PlayStation stuff till his mom came and got him. I'm there when they need us, me and my wife, to go take care of things. I know my wife has gone many times up to my son's house to let his dogs out while he's at work. He used to work from home, and that wasn't an issue. And now he has to drive in the office now. So my wife goes and lets their dogs out so they don't tear up their house. That's the 10 things that what retirement means to me. And I guess if I had to boil it down to one word, personal freedom. I can do almost anything I want at any time I want. I mean, I do have people that depend on me, my wife obviously. And of course there are laws that govern us. But otherwise, if I want to sleep till noon, I sleep till noon. If I don't want to get a shower that day, which rarely happens, but I have gone and not got a shower until like 4 p.m. Get busy doing stuff and you're like, oh, I'm not going anywhere. What do I need the shower for? So that's what retirement means to me. And now it's time for my project. Being a project manager, I like planning and organizing to the point of OCD, and it drives my wife crazy sometimes, actually all the time. But here is some more video of one of the organization projects I started this past weekend that has to do with my CD collection. So enjoy this video and we'll be right back. What have I been doing this weekend? I've been taking all of those CDs and I'm putting them in sleeves. This box here is what I've done so far. 109 jewel cases there have turned into that box that's hardly filled. And that box where I still have more room to go. And what's nice about these sleeves I'm using is if you put them in right, and I got these are like $8 a little box or cardboard basically, but they hold them upright like this, so you can then go through and look and see when you put these in right, and I'll show how I do that. You can see the band and the cover there across the top. And then of course I've got the cardboard digipacks that I don't mess with, but which I have a few of those. But I'm going through this. I'm in the A's right now. Let me kind of show you how this happens. I'll take CD here, pop it open, take this one out, take the disc out, And then I pop this open, pull that out, put this back in, and with these extra dills here, I'm gonna try and give them away to either a CD store, used CD store, or I'm gonna check half-price books. But this is jewel case number 110, going into the box over there. And now what I do is I take this, I fold these in like so. Then you take one of these discs, which is just a plastic sleeve with a little flap that you can fold over. Take that, I like the flap to fold into the back. So what I do is, this is the back of the CD, will go in like so, and then I flip it around, make sure it's upside up, flip it around. I then take the disc, I slide the disc in there. Now you can put a sleeve on the disc before putting it in there. I did some like that, and I don't know if I like that yet or not, but for now I'm just doing it like this. Then you take the basically album cover, slide that in like that, and then you see you've got the cover, and then you've got the CD information along here, and then I basically just flip it around and do that. And then I take it over here and I just stick it in the box like so. Also, I'd like to mention that once you get these in the sleeve, you've really got a nice little mini album. I'd like to complain. So you see I've been pulling these out of here, and I pull this out of the disc, and you see a store has put one of their security stickers on here, and if I try to pull it off, it's basically going to rip the whole thing off. So that basically ruins the whole inside of the art there by sticking that. And I don't know if it's the store or if it came from the manufacturer. It must have been from the manufacturer, because obviously it was shrink wrap when it went to the store. But that's just stupid. That's just terrible. So I've got all of those to go. I've got about 500 CDs to go. Well, 400 and something to go now, but I have over 500 CDs in that pile right there. And these all came out of boxes and crates from a closet underneath my staircase. I'm trying to downsize all of this stuff and get it down into things go good. Probably maybe 6 of these. No, 8 of these kind of boxes, and then I will put them into shelves. I'm going to go look for shelves that will match where you can actually stack them. And these boxes come with space for labels, so you can put, alphabet 8 or whatever, like that. That's what I've been doing all weekend. Okay, those were the 3 items I wanted to cover: tour of the comic book room, what retirement means to me, and my quick view of my CD collection project that I'm doing. That's going to continue probably for quite a while, because I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got to this far, to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, whatever. And this is Retirement Ain't Easy, and I'm Chuck. Take care. Oh, let's give you the double. Nope, it's not working. How about 2 thumbs up? There we go.